Welcome to the Fine Arts at Oxford 2018 podcast. I'm art lover Muffin Whitney, and recently I had great fun sitting down with the Oxford Community Center's LIZA LEDFORD, who is enjoying her first year of Fine Arts at Oxford as the Oxford Community Center's new executive director. LIZA, you have a deep history here in Oxford. You were raised here, you went out to LA to be a successful movie producer, and now you're back. Tell me about your experiences since you've been back to Oxford.
It has been so nice. It's wonderful coming home. I was mostly raised in Easton, and then I married an Oxford boy, so that brought me to Oxford in particular, and we did get married at the Holy Trinity Church, and it's been such a nice homecoming. And everyone's just so authentic and genuine and inspired to be here, and they all have a reason they chose Oxford, and so it's really nice to be part of celebrating the community here.
What did you think when you knew that there was a position open for executive director of the Oxford Community Center?
I was thrilled. I was just fingers crossed the whole time, hoping that I could get in there and be inspired by the people in the community and take the mission really seriously to bring them fun events and inspired conversations, and you can take the role very responsibly and try and make this building a service for the community and also a place of entertainment and inspiration for them too.
This is your first Fine Arts at Oxford event as the new executive director of the Oxford Community Center. Have there been any surprises so far?
It is always surprising to get behind the scenes of any big event like this, but I've been mostly pleasantly surprised on how well organized the committees are and how there's a new chair this year, Jody Ware, who's running a really wonderfully tight ship, and under her direction and with the support of the committees here, it seems to be a really well-oiled machine.
This particular event, Fine Arts at Oxford, really helps to fulfill what you have said is your mission for telling the story of the artists.
Yes, I always find that to be true. And in the movie business, I always like to know who was telling the story, the writer's first inspiration and the emotional impact that the writer gets to have on the audiences. And that translates exactly to artists here. I feel like every single piece that they are making has its own story, and always finding out from the artist what was their inspiration and what was behind their thinking and their emotional attachment to that piece or that particular style, or who they are and where they come from and what makes them an artist. And the choice to be an artist in this day and age is a brave choice, and celebrating them, I think, is really important.
Is there anything new that you're planning for this year's Fine Arts at Oxford event?
We're trying to keep some momentum going through the weekend. So the afternoons will be filled with a little bit of bubbly and a little maybe some musical surprises. So there's always going to be a little bit of something going on at different times of the day. So anytime you come through, you'll be pleasantly surprised with different activities around the environment of celebrating the artists.
Now, there are two very important constituencies for this event. There are the artists themselves, and then there are the people who come to enjoy and hopefully buy the art. What do you hope the artists who exhibit will gain from this year's event?
I'm hoping they gain real relationships with the buyers. A lot of times the buyers will get to know an artist and become someone who wants to buy more pieces from them or commissions them for something personal, or they can reach back out to each other later in life and as well. And at least I think the artist is going to connect on a really intimate level with the buyers, because it's such a wonderful space to get to know the artist when the buyers are here looking.
And the artists, my experience from last year is that the artists are all so accessible and so willing to talk about their art, and they don't do it in abstract, technical, artistic terms. They do it in human terms, what the art has meant to them, what their inspirations were, and it's very, very easy to talk to the artist here, and it gives you such a deeper appreciation of their art. Now, what advice do you have for people who are coming on Saturday and Sunday, especially those who may be coming for the first time?
I think just come with some time available to yourself so you can stroll through and really take some time at each artist station and get to know the artist rather than hustle through and be rushed through. Every single room will have different kinds of art, and even the outdoor tents, there's a lot of 3D art this year and mosaics, and It's so much to take in that just not being rushed is what I would recommend.
And tell us a little bit about the food, because I remember the food from last year.
Yes. Well, the most famous part of it is the strawberry
shortcake.
Yes. Jennifer Stanley runs that whole arena, and she's got these incredible volunteers that come every year, and they just whip up the most unbelievable strawberry shortcake, and people come for miles just for that, too. So it's a good thing.
I know the work that you did in Hollywood was an art all to itself, but do you have any experience at all in picking up a paintbrush and trying to put something on canvas?
No. I know what I like when I see certain kind of art, but I definitely have not been an artist myself.
Do you have a favorite period or a favorite genre of art?
I would say the Impressionists. I really do love them.
Do you collect?
No. I just appreciate.
Well, from what I remember from last year, there are several artists here who paint in an impressionistic vein, and it's amazing how the Eastern Shore, for all of its nature and representational art, how it does lend itself to impressionism also, I think maybe because of the light, because of the scenes that people see. So maybe you'll find something this year that will start your collection.
I think I will. I got to see some of the artists' websites. On our website, oxfordcc.org, we have a Meet the Artist section, and in that section, it links you to all of their websites. I've been on there looking at all the different styles and types and examples, and I'm already falling in love with so many different artists. There's so much to see.
I know. Last year I spent about $3 million mentally as I walked through the room.
Exactly, that can happen.
This is a wonderful place for people who are interested in art already and who are collectors to find things to add to their collection, but it's also such an incredible way for people who may be just starting a collection or who may be thinking about buying art, because there are so many different types of artists and they're all right here in one venue. That's such a special thing.
Yep, I feel very lucky that the caliber of the artists has been, I think, increasing every year, but again, I haven't been here in the past years. I know this is the 34th year, so I think every year it was always founded on excellent, curated artists. So here we have an anonymous juror who looks at all the submissions and selects the top of the year's submissions to come in here. So knowing it's been through a competitive process to even get to exhibit here, I think gives a buyer that comfort to know I'm going to go meet somebody who is a collector, who is somebody worth getting to know, an artist that I will want to collect down the road. And we just feel so lucky that the juror we had is so top-notch, and the artists submitting are incredible. They've been tried and true in a lot of other places as well, so bringing them all into one place is a real benefit to someone coming through.
I can't imagine that one juror curated all of that art, because there were 60 submissions this year, is that correct?
Roughly, yes.
And there are 39 exhibiting artists, including your featured artist, Steve Rogers, with whom we have an interview on a podcast.
Yes.
And new artist Deborah Howard. We also have an interview with her. I wish we could interview every single artist, because everyone brings something so unique to the experience.
I agree with you. It really is who the artist is that makes every piece so unique.
Is there anything else that you want people to know about this year? Do you want to go through sort of the mechanics of the days, the times, the money?
Sure. The weekend starts out with a Friday night sneak peek preview party. And that is when you get the look at all of the library of artwork available. It definitely is first dibs on certain buying, purchasing, your selections. And you get to meet everybody before everybody else. So it's a really worthwhile thing to come to. It's Friday night, the 18th, from 6 to 8. There's really heavy hors d'oeuvres, nice music, nice drinks, and the artist and all of the art.
And that's a reservation event, right?
Yeah, it's not an invite only, but it is a reserve your spot event. Yes.
Okay, so anybody can come, but they need to have a reservation and a ticket in advance, and tickets are $80.
Right.
And then what about the 2 days for the exhibit?
Those are both $7 tickets, and the hours on Saturday are 10 to 5 and Sunday 10 to 4. So you just come, buy a ticket at the door, and enjoy your strolling through and enjoy your strawberry shortcake.
This year, are artists contributing paintings for a raffle?
We do have that. They have been so kind to do that each year to make that extra incentive to get down here and potentially win one of their paintings.
Now, that's the best way to start a collection, is with a free painting.
That's true.
So maybe we will have some new collectors come and win free paintings at this year's Fine Arts at Oxford. Thank you so much, Liza Ledford. This was a very, very interesting look at the upcoming event.
Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure to put this year's Fine Arts at Oxford on your calendar. The event begins on Friday, May 18th with the preview party and continues through the weekend with Saturday and Sunday's exhibit. Fine Arts at Oxford is held at the Oxford Community Center, 200 Oxford Road in Oxford, on Maryland's enchanting eastern shore. For more information on ticket prices, times, and exhibits, go to the Oxford Community Center's website at oxfordcc.org. While you're there, be sure to listen to the entire series of podcast interviews for the event, and do go to the page that has information on all of this year's exhibiting artists. To reach that page, go to the oxfordcc.org homepage and click on the 3-bar menu button near the top left of your page. Then click on Events and Programs. That will take you to the Featured Events page. Scroll down to the box that says Fine Arts at Oxford and click on the button that says Click here to meet the artist. There you will find all of this year's exhibiting artists listed alphabetically with a photograph, their website address, and a brief biography. Have fun getting to know all of this year's extremely talented artists. This is Muffin Whitney for the Fine Arts at Oxford podcast, and I'll see you May 18th through the 20th at the Oxford Community Center for the 2018 edition of Fine Arts at Oxford.